Well, hello, or hopefully some of you are joining us this evening. We're coming a little bit early, so just to make sure everything's up and running. Fingers crossed it is. Okay, it's looking promising, looking promising. If you are there, make sure you come and say hello to me so that I know I'm not talking to myself. We'll just give it a couple of minutes for a few of you to join us, I hope. I'm not seeing any comments coming through yet, so. And I need to get it sorted, so I've got a laptop up here so that I can see if I'm missing some comments, because I think we do miss them sometimes coming up on this system, but we shall see. It says we're connected, but it's all still in neutral. Let me take this one off for a minute. Hey, all good on YouTube. Hopefully we're all good on Facebook, and then we can get going. It's weird not being able, because there's a bit of a delay on the comments coming through and us going live. I think there's about a 15-second delay, sorry. Hello Trisha, hello Karen. Hi Amanda, hope you had a fabulous holiday. Look forward to hearing all about it soon. Oh my lord, everybody's coming in. Hi Jules, hi Tina. And Facebook's good, so we're good to go. So welcome everybody. Hi Sue, hi Dawn. Wow, everybody's in tonight. So apologies we couldn't do last Thursday. It's thundering, Jules, in Newmark. You're in Mildenhall, aren't you, that area? So that's only about... So Jules has just put his thundering there. I thought a few minutes ago I heard a couple of rumbles and thought I'd choose to ignore it and hope they didn't appear. Hello, Karen. Hello, Mum. Hello, Janice. Hello, Carol. Let's fingers crossed it stays your side of the world until this is over. Then, Jules, fingers crossed. Anyway. Hi, Carol. So tonight I did say we were going to do a new release, but unfortunately the samples haven't arrived in time. So we are going to go over some of our other bits and pieces. Oh, hi, Heather. Facebook comments disabled for some reason. Must be at your end, Heather, because we've got some people on Facebook chatting to me. So don't know what's going on there. Very odd. Anyway, as I say, apologies. The new release hasn't arrived. The samples haven't arrived in time. So they will be our next Facebook Live, which, while we're talking about it, will be the 25th of September. Can you believe it? I don't know about where you are, but today, this evening's turned proper chilly out there. I'm sitting here thinking I am really quite cold. I'm looking in the camera and I can see my nose is red. So hey ho. Anyway, it's on my bucket list, Amanda. Amanda said she had an amazing holiday and highly recommend it. Although she did comment on something I put and said it was raining at that point. So hopefully. Right, so tonight we're going to just make up one card. I've done a little bit of the die cutting ahead, purely because it meant I needed my big machine because we were using the nesting hexagons again. So I've done that a little bit ahead. So we will flip round. Hang on, where are we? Excuse me. We will flip round and we will run through what we're going to be using. I've suddenly got a tickle in my throat, typical. I'm coming back, I promise. Right, so here's what we're going to be up for. So for those of you that missed the announcement, our Starbright Flourish dies, our nesting hexagons and our mistletoe dies are all back in stock. The new release, we might sneak peek it. I'm not sure, Amanda. Amanda's asking if the new release will be sneak peeked if you can't see her comments. Yours won't send either, Kathy. That's weird. So Kathy's also saying, I don't know what's going on there because others are commenting through Facebook. So I have no idea what's happening there. So it can't be something we've done. But we will look into it. So as I say, we've got those three dies back in stock. The other dies that we've also launched, hi Brenda, are unfortunately almost sold out again. So these ones we've got stock in, but not masses. The others are all pretty much unlimited. So yeah, so tonight we're using Starbright Flourishes dies. we're going to use the sentiments out of Modern Posy again, because this sentiment just works as a perfect size for what I need, which says, sending happy birthday wishes. We're also going to be using our quilted stencil. Martin is feeling a lot better. He came back with a terrible, terrible cold. Unfortunately, had to fly over to Malta to see his mum because she was a bit poorly. She's now home and on the mend, which is great. Hi, Carol. And then we've got the Nesting Hexagons die that I've just told you that is also back in stock. We're using our 250 and 300 GSM white cardstock, VersaFine Onyx black, anti-static bag, our sticky glue that comes in the 2 sizes, crystal clear embossing powder, and the colours we're using tonight are my favourite blues, Chipped Sapphire, Faded Jeans and Broken China, all of which I need new ones of, so they're going to give me a bit of a workout tonight. Right, so let's just pop these bits and pieces to one side, and hopefully I'll remember to run back over this again at the end this time. I forgot last time, and yeah, so we forgot to remind everybody what we used, which was a bit silly, wasn't it? So I was going to say put it in my drawer that I've been keeping nice and clear to put all of these bits in each time, but this drawer is getting fuller and fuller as we try. Right, so sizes tonight. Nice, easy sizes tonight. You need a 8x8 blank card. You need a piece of white cardstock, which is at 7 3/4 square, which I have already inked around the edge of, purely because my arm isn't going to cope with doing all the blending, and because these ink pads are lower, needing replacing. We have got a 7.5 square, so we're just going to have that border around the edge. And then some scraps. Yes, Amanda, proper sizes. You wait till the workshop, you'll hate me for that one. Some scraps just to do your blending and die cutting on. Okay, so we're going to start off with this piece. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to start here. We are going to put this piece on and out of our way. Now I've got 2 bottles of glue here, and you know that I'm going to have picked up the one that I didn't want to pick up, the one that I haven't cleared. And I tried it in a different colour and I didn't like it, so you're going to get to see that too. But I've always told you, don't ever waste those, because unless your card falls apart, nobody else is going to know that that's there. Hi Margaret. Oh, blimey, have I not spoken to you since then? Yes, we did have a lovely holiday, thank you. I know you will be. Amanda is coming to our workshop in Suffolk. We did our first of our workshop. Oh, can you believe it? The first of the autumn season of workshops. Where is this summer go? Or has this summer gone? And she doesn't like funny sizes, as you all know that watch on here regularly. I am stumped as to what's going on with this Facebook. Somebody else is saying odd, Facebook odd as well. Please, hopefully, nothing's changed on the system. I've done nothing different. So, as I say, some are commenting on Facebook and some aren't. Hi, Linda. So we've just stuck that down just to get that piece out of the way. Right. First of all, I think we will get all of these bits done and out of the way. So we have got our... I've got to take this one off. And I think I've told you all this before. When I do my Facebook Live, I have to drop my seat down to be able to get everything in the camera. Otherwise, you're going to be talking to from my nose down. But when I craft, I have to have it up higher. So I'm up and down in this chair like a yo-yo. And it's a very old chair, so it sometimes puts me on the floor anyway. Right, so we've got our quilted stencil. We're just going to pop it roughly in the middle there and pop our magnets down to hold that in place. Hello, Veronica. So Veronica is Martin's mum, and she's the lady that Martin flew out to see because she was poorly. Now she's home and on the mend, which is always a good sign. So I didn't mention our blending brushes because I forgot to bring any unused ones, but we're using our blending brushes that do come in the 2 sizes. my nose has got so cold, it feels like it's running on me. I can't believe how cold the weather's got wet out there tonight. Right. So let's grab, I think we'll go with our middle colour, which is Faded Jeans. And I'm just going to do a light covering on the middle. Roundish, but doesn't have to be perfectly round. And not too heavy. Lift a couple of magnets off, see if I like it. Yep, that will do us perfectly well. That's all we need, just a light, shall I home in down a little bit? Am I going the right way or the wrong way? That way. That'll do, I think. So just literally in the middle. And that's the only bit of stenciling we're going to be doing. Now, if you've ever missed my little tricks of the trade, so to speak, when I clean a stencil, I take a piece of kitchen paper, pop my stencil down, and whether I've got a wet wipe or sometimes I have a cloth that I wipe clean things down with. At the moment, I forgot to grab my cloth. It's being rinsed because it was more black than white. So I'm just going to take a wet wipe over the top of that. That then means both sides of my stencil have been cleaned and both sides of my stencils are now dry. So really quick, easy way to dry and clean a stencil. So that's my tip for today. I don't know if there's any, you might get more, you never know. So we're going to go in and do a little bit of blending. I have already blended this. Oh no, Carol, that's not good. Flu is yucky. And there's so much of stuff going around at the moment, isn't there? So this is Broken China. And as I said, mine is definitely running low. So as I say, I did do them a little bit. Now, it's entirely up to you how heavy or how light you do this. And this is just offcuts. When I say scraps, this isn't the offcut of the A4 sheet of paper that I did to make our other squares. Because the die isn't very wide, so long as it fits in that space, you're fine. And then you're going to, so we'll carry on with this one first. So about a third of the page with that colour. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're die cutting this, so the only people that are really going to see how this looks is you and me. So you're going to keep going. I'm not going to blend this whole thing because my inks are so dry now. I've done two. So as I say, they don't have to be perfectly blended because we're die cutting these. So you'll end up with two pieces like so, hopefully. You just need a couple of pieces. We're going to cut this shape out twice and have a couple of flowers. So we've got our dies ready to go. See, I'm not lucky like you. I don't get my dies in a nice little presentation envelope. So, as I always say, I put flat to the mat. I'm going to pop my inks out of the way so that we can bring the die cut machine on the table. I'm trying to do it so that I can bring the die cut machine onto the table. More boxes. Fingers crossed, Carol, you get on the mend soon. This fluey thing that's going around is awful. Really is proper. Hi, Sue. Right, sorry, I am nearly with you. Right, now should have room to get this die cut machine on here. Fingers crossed. Popping a few things out of the way. Die cut machine, my old trusted one. I'm going to try and do this so that we don't have too much of a wobbly camera as well, but you never know. So, as I always say, flat to the mat. a magnetic board and it catches up there. Pop. I might try and do this in one hit. That way. Who knows? Where are we? Go this way round. And then with a piece of bubble wrap. For those of you that have missed, good evening, Kim. Hi, Betty. Little bit of bubble wrap makes die cutting a dream. So if you've got one of those really stubborn die cutting machines, this is a hack that Mum saw on Facebook, I believe. So it's either an Instagram or a Facebook post or something like that. But it's an absolute game changer. So whoever came up with it, you're an angel. Right. So we are going to cut this out twice. I'm actually just hoping this is all coming out together, and then I can leave the dies on the die cut board where they are. So as you can see, it all literally just falls straight out. Such an easy cut. I will show you these up close in a moment. Just cut these both out so that we've got them both, and then I will show you the detail that you get with this die. Oh, Betty, bless you. No, we didn't do Farnborough. We don't often do ICHF shows. The only one you would normally see us at would be, now they've taken over Sandown. Farnborough, no, we didn't do it, and you are correct. They were on somebody else's stand. And those of you that are in Exeter, going to Exeter the weekend after next, they will be on, some of our products will be on the Stamp Hut stand. Right, so just run that through twice. Again, that's the same piece of bubble wrap. I kind of collect these, even though obviously it's the bubbles are popped, well used. I just stack a couple of them together. So that helps as well. Oops, sorry I'm late, Sally Ann. You don't have to apologise for being late, but thank you very much for joining us. Right, so we just whip those out of there really quickly. Be careful with them, they are a really detailed die. Don't try and rip it out like I'm trying to do here. Time doesn't allow for me to fiddle around too much. Because can you believe we're 20 minutes into this already? So, just so that I don't lose them, I'm going to whip these off here, and then we can put the die cut machine out of the way. So that's all our die cutting done, because I pre-cut my hexagons so that we didn't have to have the big machine on the table tonight. Right, so look how delicate this die is. In fact, I'll put it on some white. Betty, yes, we will be at Kent in November. You pick up all that detail, and again, you can snip into this, which we will be doing one of them, to get the foliage and stuff off there as individuals. And all I have done is kind of position the bigger flower, or the other flowers, sort of in the area that on my blending piece. So I blended it with the 3 colours. So I knew my bigger flower was down here, so I positioned the bigger, looser one there, and just did it slightly sort of going upwards, if that makes sense, with the sizing. So we've got 2 of those. Choose which one you like the best. There's no right or wrong with them. I've just noticed I did one way and one the other, so that's novel. But hey ho, doesn't matter, does it? Let's get this out of the way. And then we're going to leave one flat, and as I say, we're going to snip into one. I think we'll leave that one flat and snip into this one. So we've got all of our flowers loose. And then all I'm going to do is go in and cut off the foliage. Don't need this flower, but I want that piece of foliage. Sally, I know I haven't got a cold. I've just literally got such a cold nose that I've got come up into the craft room and all of a sudden my nose is on the run, which is not particularly ideal when I'm trying to do a Facebook Live, really, is it? Unless Martin's decided to pass his cold over to me, but I haven't felt like I've gotten a cold. It's just literally since I've come up here, which is very random. So I've got my little bits of foliage as well. And I'm going to put those to one side. Right, all of this needs to go to one side for a minute because we need to bring in... Right, so I've got my die cut hexagon, and again, I've just coloured that. There's so many colds and things going around though, aren't there? Let's hope that I've missed it for a little while. As I say, I just think it's the cold weather that suddenly appeared outside. I was outside playing with Maisie, so that probably didn't help me. So, before I stick this down, I want to put a sentiment on. But I also want to work out roughly where that was a good aim, wasn't it? I've managed to do my stenciling, keep it all inside that hexagon shape. So I'm going to pop this one here. Now I have already matted and die cut these earlier. I've taken the larger flowers and put them on top of the flourish. And literally all I've done for that is take my kebab stick and just do it like I would curling ribbon. Simple as that. Now I have done that with, let's have a look. I actually needed 3 sets of flowers, but I've only done 2, but we've already done it as well. So we've done it on the top already, on top of the main flourish. So just to give yourself an idea of where things are going to be positioned, I'm just going to lay this on here so that I can work out roughly where I want my sentiment to go. Because you need to do your sentiment before you do your, before you stick it down, before you stick everything down. Because otherwise your embossing powder is going to get stuck. If you're not using embossing powder, it doesn't matter. So roughly kind of like that sort of ish shape. So in my head, I'm going to aim for this sort of row here. I think. Yeah, I think that's where we'll go. So we're going roughly about there. If I'm clever, I can remove all of this again and keep my stick roughly where I want it to be. Carol, you have to keep yourself warm when you're poorly. But I am quite tempted with heating, I have to say. Sounds like a good idea. I'd be putting mine on too. Right, so the sentiment, as I said, I'm using is from the Modern Posy. I'm going to use our VersaFine Onyx Black. And I have got my... Oh, I don't know what I've done with it. I have those pieces of card that I use for putting my embossing powder in, and I don't know where I put them. Here we go. I'll just grab that out. So ink our stamp up, lots and lots of little light taps, and pop this off to one side and pop our sentiment on here. I don't think I put that on very straight, do you? If I didn't, I've got... Oh well, that's where it's going to be. I was going to say if I didn't, I've got another one, but I'd rather use this one because it was a perfect fit, wasn't it? Crystal clear embossing powder on the top, light tap, take the excess off and put this back in here. Now I'm going to do my utmost to make sure that this heat gun... Amanda, don't remind me, no. I forgot it. You should have shouted earlier. Right. I'm not colouring, so I'm not going to be too precious about it. I've tried to get it hot quickly because I didn't want to warp the cardstock too much. But what I will do is pop this off to one side for as long as I can while we're putting the rest of this card together. So, because at the moment we've got quite a lump. Let me see if I can reduce this down a little bit. I don't know if I made that better or worse, to be fair. Hi Eileen. So I've just popped that off to one side. Hopefully that will relax before we put it all together. So as I said, we're going to take our flowers and we're just going to curl them along, but hold on to where it is connected. It just gives it a little bit more support. You can then stretch the fibres out a little bit further. Pop your nail in there and just give it a little wiggle. And hopefully you'll end up with a nice pretty flower. Taking a little bit of glue, we're going to put one inside the other. It's up to you. You can line them up exactly if you want to, or you can put them off to one side. Put them to one side. And the next size. Exactly the same thing, just holding it at the centre base. And just give those a little bit of a wiggle. Now a couple of these petals are still connected and there's just a tiny little bit that connects them, so you're just going to snip those and that gives you the wiggle room on your petals. It is literally just that tiniest little snip. I think it's raining here. It sounds like it's raining here. For those of you that missed the start of it, we have a lady called Jules who's watching with us, and she lives probably about 15 miles from us. 15, 20 miles at the most from where we are. And she said it was thundering when we started. So I'm hoping that it doesn't come and get us before our live finishes. But as I say, it's gone very dark out there. Although the nights are really pulling in too, aren't they? This winter's coming around on us quick this year. Right. And then last but not least, we've got our smallest ones. That piece of cardstock is going to be the vein of my life now. I'm going to really wish I hadn't done that, or I should have done one earlier. Maybe it's coming your way, Carol. It is horror. Ugh. Although we have had an amazing summer, so we can't really complain, can we? And not long till Christmas. I know. Right. So we're going to put those together quickly. So you would need 3 sets of these little flowers, individual flowers, so that you could put a set on top of that other die cut that we've got. But I've only got 2, so we'll make 2 because I've already done them. Right. So we're now going to get cross with this and hoping it's going to curl on me. Do I give in and put it on? You know what? I don't think I can. I may not stick it all down completely, because I need that to be flatter. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, ladies. Jill, if you have missed anything you needed to see, because you've missed quite a bit of it, you can easily go back and watch it. It will be on our YouTube channel under live. Oh, we're going for it. Or tomorrow or the next day, depending when it lets us do it, we will have it on our website as well. foam tape it. I was going to foam tape it, but I can't find any foam tape, and I really wanted it flat, Amanda. I know I always tell you to foam tape it, but in my head this one it's eked itself out a little bit, so that's not too bad. Yeah, we got it. We got it, ladies. We got it. Sticky glue. It's really, really strong. Right. So we've matted and layered that. We are now going to ink up our hexagon, which, as you all know, is my other new hack, which is a little bit of glue and a pastry brush. Gonna pop some glue on there and just tap it round. Those of you that are coming to the workshops, if you've got the pastry brush hack, bring it with you. You're going to need it because we're using some of the dies. As I say, we did our first autumn workshop in Portsmouth this weekend, and we have now released the date for our spring one for that one. So if you want to join us and you're down in the south of the country, that's already available for you to book in April. Excuse me. Oh, good grief. Right. Pop that down, and that's where it's going to be. Yours is all done with its haircut as well, Tina. I think last time you hadn't got one, had you? Or had you got them? I can't remember. It's flattened now, Sally Ann, but thank you very much for that tip. I didn't think about that. We'll see you there, Susan. If you've got the pastry brush, bring it with you. Right, so I'm just going to wipe off that excess for a moment. Right, so we've got this one that we have popped on the extra set of flowers already on there. So I did that ahead of time. So this is going to make the ink and the gluing up of it a little bit harder, but hey ho, it will be what it will be. I didn't think about that when I was working ahead of myself, did I? Oh, what's the worst that can happen? I have to put an extra flower on the top. That's all. Oh, but you don't want to glue it on the wrong side, like I just did. It is a really delicate die, but I just love it. And it appears everybody else did because it went out of stock so fast. But as I say, we're back. Hence we're using it tonight so that you all know it's back. Right, so we're going to position this roughly where we want it. Hopefully keeping everything on the page. That's where it's landed. So that's where it's staying. I am just going to take my poker tool and just push this down in some places just to make sure that it's, and we might be better with a kebab stick on this one. You will stick, and you will stick where I want you to. Yeah, don't do what I did and put your flowers on first. Stick it down first, then put your second lot of flowers on. I'll just pull these ones up a little bit. There are a few bits that don't want to play a game with me now. Jill, yes, we are at the motor. So Jill's asking if we're at the Birmingham Motorcycle Museum show Excalibur this weekend. And yes, we will be there on Saturday in our usual position. So if you've been there before, Jill, make sure you come and say hello and say, I'm Jill. because it's always nice to put a face to a name. Oh, it would be a nice Christmas card, Amanda. Oh, Lee, thank you very much. For those that you... It's very nice of you to say, but I wouldn't say that myself. But right, my pearls are quite old. They've been around a while. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of glue in there because I am fed up of having to go back in and do that afterwards. So I'm giving myself a little bit of glue in the centres. Didn't lift my little flower up enough. If I lifted it at all, I don't remember. No, middle size. Might have got a little bit too much glue in the middle of this one, but hey, that's life, isn't it? It dries clear, doesn't matter. And then our dinky one. There's way too much glue in the middle of that one. Right, so we've got that bit done. And then, as I said, I have already done my little flowers. So we will grab those out. Oh, I quite like it with the slightly different coloured blues on there. I'm just looking because they're slightly more towards the green blue, and the ones I did tonight are slightly more towards the blue, if that makes sense. I think it's going to be those, isn't it? So bear with me while I just pop a little bit, pop these gems in here as well. I'm sticking my gems on top of my glue bottle now, rather than the glue in the middle. Here we go. It's a really, Jill's just talking about the Birmingham Motorcycle Museum Excalibur Papercraft show this weekend, and you've not been before. It's not a massive show, Jill, but it's a really nice little show. It's a really friendly show. Everybody's there, and we're there for a bit of fun. Most of us have been up since before the world woke up, because we don't set up we have to set up at on the morning of, so it's a bit of a cram to get everything ready. But yeah, so we're always a little bit exhausted by then. But it's a really nice little show to come to, so hopefully we'll see you there. Just popping these on. Rough, don't have to be in the perfect spacing or anything. It's entirely up to you where you put it down. These nesting hexagon dies are just amazing. They just frame everything for you. And so this is the largest size, so you can go down in size if you want to, which would work perfectly. And again, I've got some foliage here, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back. So this is that foliage that we chopped off. Do you remember? And you can position this wherever you want it, and as much of it as you want. So if you wanted more than I have done, then just give yourself a little bit more. You can cut it out a couple of times. Where are we? Got a few extra pieces here. Try not to get too much glue on my hands at the same time because I'm sticking to it a little bit. So you might see me. I like getting my nails done, everybody, but when you're a crafter, they get in the way when they've got nail polish on them, which is what's happening to me tonight. That's what I like to hear, Tina. Tina has said she thinks she's gonna make this card for her next week for her sister-in-law. At least I know that I'm not just wasting my time, Tina. It's nice to know that people like what we're doing and that they're gonna replicate it. That's the whole idea of doing these things, is to give you ideas on what to do with all of our fab products and how they all work together. So obviously tonight we've got stencils, dies and stamps all in the same thing, and most of you, they're just a really, really useful set, I think. We are almost there, I think. We just got a couple more pieces to put in, I think, down here. And maybe one down the end there, just to... Why did I go for my glue bottle? So Amanda's having to have a knee operation. If those of you that can see her comments, she's just put on there, she's she's going to have lots of time to craft. So she's working out how she can have, because her craft room's upstairs and she's having an operation on her knee, so she can't go up and down the stairs too much. When I was talking to her last, she was working out how she's going to be able to have all her craft supplies to hand and what she needs upstairs to do it. Priorities, hey. That's what I like to hear. One more people. Just because I can. To go in here. I asked you to go there, not move. Stuck to my tweezers. Yeah, I think that's enough. Or do we need one up there? I think if we go there, we become too symmetrical and we don't want to do that. Again, just wipe off all the glue that you've got here. I can't do the stuff that I've done on here, Heather, on a workshop. So as lovely as it would be to do it on a workshop, it's not going to be this one. So, yeah, for those of you that can't read it, because she's put it on YouTube, hasn't she? Heather said it would be a lovely one to do on a workshop. Workshop ones are all done. So there we go. Now, I always say to you, don't forget the middle of your cards. Now, obviously, you don't really want to put big layers in there, but I am just going to take this flower off here and shape the petal. And I'm just going to put it in this top corner. I'm not putting any dimension or anything on it. I'm literally just going to put it in the top corner. Having cleaned up all of my glue that I could probably have done with a bit more of. But now I've done it, I can't. Put a little bit on there and do it. And we'll just pop that on the inside. And that brings your card from the outside in. And there we go. One finished card. I hope you all liked it. As I say, it's a fairly... Helena, yes, we will be... Helena's asking if we're going to be at Port Sunlight in October. For those of you that don't know, Port Sunlight has been released by a different company, Stamp Addicts, Craftorama, Stamporama, I'm not sure, I think it's a Stamporama, are doing Port Sunlight now. So you will see lots of old faces that haven't been for a while and things like that there. I've got to put my seat down before you get to see me again. But we will quickly run through what we have used. So, thank you all very much for the lovely comments. This is such a detailed, pretty die that it makes all your cards look beautiful, which is nice. I'm going to pop that to one side for 2 seconds. And we'll get out what we have used. Right, so we used the VersaFine Onyx Black. We also used our sticky glue that way around that comes in the 2 sizes. So we've got the 30ml and the 120ml. I should have used my anti-static bag, so your anti-static bag. And then we've used our Star Bright Flourish dies. We have used the Modern Posy Sentiments. So I used this birthday one here. We've used the Quilted Stencil. We've used the Nesting Hexagons stencil, dies, sorry. Where did stencil come from? And the cardstock, 250 and 300 GSM. It's entirely up to you which weight cardstock you want to use. As I say, this one's back in stock having sold out. And this one's back in stock having sold out. And our, what's the other one? Mistletoe is back in stock. I did have the mistletoe die here. I don't know what they've done with it. So mistletoe die is back in stock as well. And then the colours I have used today, we've also used, sorry, our crystal clear embossing powder. And the colours we've used are Chipped Sapphire, Faded Jeans and Broken China. All three of which I'm going to give myself a treat and have a new set for the next time I use them. Right. So that's the card we made tonight. A really simple, easy card to make. You watched me do it almost from start to finish. I think it pretty much was from start to finish tonight, wasn't it? Apart from the inking around the edge. So now you get me again. See, look, I told you my nose is really red because it's freezing cold it is. So there isn't much for me to tell you about because we've actually got quite a quiet month this month. So we are at the Motorcycle Museum this coming Saturday, which is from 10 AM till 3 PM. We're in our usual spot, so if you are going to be there, if you've been there before, you know exactly where to find us. If you haven't been there, Jill, we are just, you go in through the doors and we're on the left-hand side wall as you go in. You can't miss us. It's a big stand and a big sign that says Honeydew Crafts. So hopefully we'll see lots of you there. Our next Facebook Live will be, what date did I say it was? Is it the 25th? Yep, September the 25th. Again, same time, same place, 7 PM here. And hopefully we will have all the new goodies to show you. We have new stamps and new stencils coming this time. No dies on this next release. And that's it, I think. If anybody's got anything, any questions they have, they can. Have we got it on there? Oh, I know we had our email address on here somewhere, but it appears to have disappeared. So if you want to get hold of us, you can get us through Facebook or through YouTube, or you can contact us on honeydewcrafts@gmail.com. But other than that, I think that's everything you need to know. Hope you enjoyed the card. I will pop this one up here. I appear to have frozen according to my mum, so who knows what's gone on there. Please like and subscribe our pages. It helps to boost us higher up on the ratings for all the general Facebook, YouTube, internet fun. But we really appreciate you joining us. I hope you've enjoyed the card and we will see you all again in a couple of weeks.